Whoever is willing to help me repay my mortgage, I will give the house to him. You heard me right, because yesterday I defaulted on the payments. I don't want to spread negativity, but this kind of thing did happen. Last year, I used up almost 30 years of my parents' savings and bought a large apartment in the northern district of Chongqing for a total of 2.89 million yuan. I made a down payment of 890,000 yuan and borrowed 2 million yuan. At the time of the opening, it was very popular. In order to buy a good floor plan, I used all kinds of connections. Just last week, I went to the sales office and found out that the market price of my house has dropped to less than 2 million yuan, and I have to include a parking space to sell it. In just over a year, I lost a total of 1.63 million yuan. I don't know what 1.63 million means to you, but for me, it feels like the sky's collapsing. Just the down payment of over 800,000 yuan is almost half of my parents' savings. My friends have been comforting me, saying that the house prices will definitely rise again. Do you think it's possible? Is it really because of the overall bad economy, or is God deliberately torturing me? If you don't have a stable income, never try to buy a house on a loan.
In the video, the woman narrates her experience of losing nearly 2 million yuan within just 2 years due to the drastic drop in house prices, making the house she bought with a loan increasingly worthless. To recover the losses, she is willing to give away the house for free, as long as the other party can help repay the loan. In July last year, a homeowner in Zhengzhou who couldn't repay their mortgage offered their house for free on social media. Since then, many homeowners in China started considering transferring their houses in a similar manner to reduce losses. This phenomena is spreading from small cities to Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. A homeowner in Shenzhen bought a house with only 28 square meters. The homeowner wanted to give away the house as long as the new buyer could help repay the mortgage. After 3 years, the deed could be transferred over. There are also some houses in small cities that nobody wants, even if they are free, because of their remote location and poor surrounding infrastructure. Free house? Yes, really free. Don't run away. It's free. Let me tell you guys, this might be the first free house in Jian City. You heard it right. There's a 6th-floor apartment here, just over 90 square meters. The landlord said it's free, but you have to help him repay the loan. He doesn't ask for the money paid for the certificate of ownership or the down payment. You just need to repay the loan. How big is a house? About 99 square meters. Priced at around 300,000 yuan. You just need to repay the loan to his bank. It's a building with 2 elevators and 3 units on each floor. The lighting is quite good, and the layout is pretty nice. The kitchen and living room are quite spacious. There are 2 bedrooms, and the rooms are indeed not bad. Showing you this house isn't the real purpose. The real purpose is for us to think deeper. It's my first time in this neighborhood, and the location is actually quite remote. A friend asked, "Why don't you buy it since it's so cheap?" I don't really need it. I have my own house. You can buy such a house for yourself, but don't think about making money by reselling it. You won't be able to sell it unless you give it away for free, because there are no good schools around, nor any good facilities. It's far from the city center, so it's hard to sell. Recently, on social media platforms in China, you can see these kinds of videos often. Behind every account posting such videos, there is a homeowner who cannot repay the mortgage. Due to the downturn in the Chinese real estate market, house prices have declined, even halved, and houses that cannot be inhabited but have high interest loans have become hot potatoes for speculators. Anyone interested in a free house and "I'm giving away my house, I've been paying for 5 years" have become popular memes online. Many homeowners in the comments under the topic of giving away houses for free are putting out their own houses, looking for someone to take over the loan. Fang Qing is one of the homeowners who wants to give away the house for free. She expressed her thoughts during a media interview. She says she currently wants to give away a house in Shihui City, Guangdong Province. The house is located in the Hengfu New Mileage community, about an hour's drive from Guangzhou, close to the river and with beautiful surroundings, which were the reasons why she decided to buy it. Reflecting on the experience of buying a house, Fang said, "In 2019, I've been really wanting to buy a house for a while. At that time, a friend said the down payment for the house was only 60,000 yuan. We couldn't go wait to see the house. We only looked at the house once, then paid the deposit directly. Actually, when I paid the deposit, I didn't even have 10,000 yuan in my pocket. I had to call friends on the spot to borrow money. I didn't even know how to calculate the interest rate and shoulder the heavy mortgage. But after completing the entire transaction process, she found that the low down payment was actually a marketing gimmick by the developer, and the actual amount to be paid far exceeded 60,000 yuan. In order to finally get the house, she had to pay another 300,000 yuan, and to make up the amount, she also found a loan company to pay the remaining 2/5 of the down payment. She said, "In 2020, I got the house, but I haven't lived there yet. It's too inconvenient to drive back and forth. It's 160 kilometers round trip to work every day, which is too far. The annualized interest rate on my mortgage is 5.97%, and it really feels like a heavy burden that I can't get rid of. Because of the distance, I still can't live there. The house is still unfinished. If I want to renovate it, I'll have to spend at least 100,000. I have to rent it out for 5 years to break even." She felt it was even less worth it. She thought of giving away the house for free because of the decline in housing prices. Li, a manager at a real estate agency in Shihui City, explained that the average price of new houses in the Hengfu new mileage area is currently about 6,000 yuan per square meter. The current price for an 89 square meter 3-bedroom apartment, coupled with ongoing promotions, is around 500 to 550,000 yuan. However, when the development started at the end of 2019, the selling price of unfinished houses was about 8,000 yuan per square meter, so it dropped by about 2,000 yuan per square meter, a decrease of about 25%. A homeowner in the same neighborhood also said that her 3-bedroom apartment on a high floor is currently valued at 470,000 yuan, around 66,000 US dollars. This price is almost the same as the remaining balance of Fang Qi's mortgage on her house. To Fang, continuing to incur losses while repaying the loan is devastating. Feng also did the calculations for potential house recipients. She clarified that she started repaying the loan in July 2019, and there is currently a remaining loan balance of 460,000 yuan, around 65,000 US dollars. The monthly payment is less than 2,500 yuan. Renting a house here costs almost the same, around 2,500 yuan, so it's like renting and buying a house at the same time, which is more cost effective. After 5 years, there's the option of carrying out the formal process of buying and selling. If not, the monthly payment can be considered as rent without additional fees. Regarding why the house is given away for free rather than a direct transfer, Feng revealed to the media that she hadn't yet applied for the property ownership certificate. She only applied for it when she paid taxes in January and is expected to be ready in February. However, their certificate is not yet 2 years old, so the transaction tax is too high. Ms. Wang, a resident of Hangzhou who faced family changes and couldn't afford to repay the loan, is also using this method of giving away the house for free to sell it. In addition to homeowners themselves, real estate agents also use free house giveaway as a gimmick to boost their performance. Mr. Cui, a real estate manager in Hangzhou, posted on social media, Forest and Ocean neighborhood is giving away a house for free. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, with developer's luxury decoration, over 100 square meters, all for free. He also revealed that the homeowner bought this house for over 1.5 million yuan in 2021, and as long as the new owner helps the current owner repay the remaining loan of about 1.16 million yuan, they can have the house. The homeowner hasn't yet sorted out the house ownership certificate and already can't afford the monthly payments. From his explanation, we can understand that 1.06 million yuan is a mortgage for the house, and another 60,000 yuan is for the loan for parking space. Plus, there are expenses such as a deed tax and property maintenance expenses totaling about 1.16 million yuan. Tax needs to be paid during the transfer, so the total cost should be around 1.26 million yuan. This price is much cheaper than the market price of 1.4 million yuan for the same type of unit in the same neighborhood. However, for the homeowner, this price means losing the initial down payment. Regarding the purchase of such free houses, industry insiders have expressed different opinions. A senior real estate expert stated that this method of giving away houses and transferring the loan to the recipient is not cost-effective compared to the prices of houses in the same neighborhood as being sold. Also, since this method of purchasing is quite new, there is no legal guarantee, so disputes may arise. Director lawyer Wang Yu-chen from Beijing Jingsu law firm holds the same view. He believes that whether these homeowners are really selling at a low price, buyers need to verify from multiple angles as there may be some gimmicks involved. Although such transactions seem to have a lower price compared to the normal market price, the risks are also significantly higher. For example, if the homeowner's finances are tight, there may be debt issues, and in serious cases, they may be sued. The house under the owner's name may be sealed or mortgaged off before the transfer, making it impossible for the buyer to become the owner, which ultimately leaves them with neither money nor house. However, some sales managers claim that such disputes can be resolved. If the property is seized during the transaction, the money will be refunded through a regulatory account. But in the case of going to court, there is no law to protect consumers who purchase through such abnormal channels. Furthermore, if the transaction belongs to a house that cannot be bought and sold normally, there may be problems with the validity of the purchase and sales contract. So lawyer Wang emphasizes that consumers who purchase such houses should pay close attention. For example, whether they can register the transaction with the housing authority and publish the information online immediately, whether there is a mortgage or foreclosure, etc. If it cannot be registered with the housing authority immediately, it means that there is a problem with the house and it should not be bought. At the same time, it is also necessary to verify the personal information of the homeowner. If the homeowner has been sued, even if the house has not been foreclosed, one should take note because there is a risk of being foreclosed at any time. In the process of transferring the mortgage, it is also necessary to communicate in advance with the local departments and banks to ensure that the process is reasonable and easy. Free house giveaway actually resulted from the burst of the Chinese real estate bubble. Housing sales are sluggish, and the inventory of houses in the market has surged, and even new houses cannot be sold, let alone these second-hand houses. Cases of houses being given away in Beijing's Yangzhou are now being shown nationwide. The reason is that housing prices have fallen too much, resulting in debt exceeding the value of the assets. Not only has the principal been lost, but also even if you have property, the remaining loan amount may be higher than the current market value, making it very unprofitable. For example, if a house is worth 1 million yuan, you put down a 30% down payment, and if the house price falls by more than 30%, then your loan will still be 700,000 yuan. But at this point, your house is no longer worth 700,000 yuan. In this situation, it's very profitable to let go of both the house and the debt because you can buy it back at a lower price anytime. Watching the continuously declining house prices while paying high interest loans, life has become even more difficult for many with mortgages.
每个月1万的房贷，我后悔得想扇自己。
I have a monthly mortgage of 10,000 yuan. I regret it so much that I want to slap myself. This is the 100 square meter 3-bedroom apartment I bought in Nanjing for over 3 million yuan at the peak of the housing market 2 years ago. I put down 1.3 million yuan as a down payment and took out a 2 million yuan loan. Let's not even mention the renovation costs. The monthly mortgage of 10,000 yuan needs to be paid for 30 years. We are the group that got taken advantage of. We got married, had children, and then bought houses at high prices. After working hard for decades, we are suddenly back to square one overnight. After buying the house, we faced the downturn of the property market. My husband lost his job this year, and his income dropped from hundreds of thousands to zero. Recently, our child had pneumonia and needed over 1,000 yuan for treatment. With this mortgage, we dare not go out, eat out, or even get sick. We still have to support this house. Some people suggest selling the house. It's not a matter of whether to sell or not, but whether it can be sold. Yesterday, I asked the agent. Right now, the house is being sold at half price, but no one dares to buy it. I always thought that in a first-tier city like Nanjing, housing prices would hold their value, but now even regrets are useless.
29岁，每个月房贷5900。
At 29, we have a monthly mortgage of 5,900 yuan. Both my husband and I are unemployed now, and it's the end of the year. We can't even come up with 1,000 yuan. The whole family is struggling and life is unbearable. We took out a loan of 1.19 million yuan to buy this house, which is 145 square meters with 4 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, and 2 bathrooms. We wanted to get everything done at once, didn't listen to our family's advice, and bought this big house. Now both of us are completely unemployed. My husband used to earn 16,000 yuan a month, and I earned over 8,000 yuan. Together we had an income of 24,000 yuan a month, and with some bonuses, we could make 300,000 yuan a year. So the 6,000 yuan monthly loan was not a big deal at all. We overestimated ourselves at the time, but now we are facing reality because we are both unemployed. In December last year, my husband's company cut salaries and laid off employees. As an employee who's been there for 4 years, he was laid off too, which I never expected. I also lost my job in May this year because the company closed down. Now that we are unemployed, we can't even afford the mortgage. With 2 children now, we need money and we can't afford the mortgage anymore. Every month, paying the mortgage makes us panic and we can't bear it anymore. To pay the mortgage, we not only spent our savings but also our parents' years of savings and down payment. We feel embarrassed to ask our parents for money now, so we can only desperately look for work. But it's really hard to find a job now. Now we have to pay over 5,000 yuan in mortgage every month. As ordinary workers, we only earn over 4,000 yuan a month, and we also have children to support.
But this situation may continue for decades and may become even worse. An article published by Nikkei Asia on February 3rd stated that the sluggish sales of China's real estate industry have led to a significant increase in housing inventory. It may take at least 5 years for the market to absorb these houses. Moreover, CNBC cited economists saying that this absorption period could exceed 10 years. In fact, the answer can be derived by calculating some data. Following the method outlined by Nikkei Asia of subtracting the sold housing area from the newly constructed housing area at the end of 2023, China's surplus housing area was estimated to be close to 5 billion square meters. If we calculate based on average of 100 square meters for a family of 3, the surplus housing area in China can accommodate living spaces for 150 million people or 50 million households. According to the sales area of residential buildings in 2023, it was 940 million square meters for the entire year. Compared to the peak of 1.6 billion square meters in 2021, it plummeted by 40%. It indeed requires about 5 years to digest the 5 billion square meters of housing. However, due to the downward trend of the Chinese economy and more young people choosing to lie flat, meaning not marry or have children, reducing population growth, the demand for residential housing will decrease, and the sales area of residential housing in 2024 and beyond may decrease even more. As mentioned in the report by the IMF, China's demand for new housing may decline by 50% in the next decade, and the duration of the decline in the Chinese real estate market may exceed people's expectations. So CNBC's report of a 10-year correction period may even be a conservative estimate. Hong Hao, chief economist at Grow Investment Group, expressed the same view in an interview with CNBC Street Signs Asia in January. He said, if you look at the inventory overhang situation, at this sales rate, it will take about 2 years to clear out all the inventory that is outstanding in the market. And then if you look at the property under construction, we have 6 million square meters under construction. At this rate, it will take probably more than 10 years. So all in all, we're talking about multi-years in terms of correction. Nikkei Asia also pointed out in the report that due to the declining birth rate and improving living standards in China, the demand for housing continues to shrink. This change not only impacts China's real estate industry, but also has a significant effect on the international market. For instance, declining demand for housing in China will result in a significant influx of building materials in the international market, thereby impacting international building material prices. Additionally, China's surplus housing will exert downward pressure on international commodity prices. Prices of major construction materials such as rebar and copper in the futures market often fluctuate in sync with real estate investment. In the first 9 months of 2023, 80% of listed steel companies in China experienced either losses or decreased profits. China's steel exports reached 90 million tons last year, an increase of over 20 million tons compared to the previous year. While this partially alleviates concerns about China's excess production capacity, it exacerbates worries about downward pressure on international steel prices.